Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies. It's been a while and I'm happy to share some replays with you all. First off, TinyPolska26 in the IKV something, the Flatboy IKEA RU251. There we go. The RU251 flat pack, some assembly required. But it looks like TinyPolska has busted out the universal assembly tool and is well on his way to performing some sneaky boy business in one of the most effective 6-7 light tanks in the game. It follows the formula of the RU251, which is heat FS in a standard loading setup, fired through a single tube, good optics, good mobility, and pretty much nothing in terms of armor. The extreme sloping found on the frontal faces of this vehicle can do some funny business, especially with lower velocity, i.e. chemical rounds, but you're better off just not getting shot, and that is the lesson that TinyPolska is going to give us today. Now, I mentioned firing through a single tube, and that's a special note of mention for the Ontos. And another thing there, if you're laying the gun on target quite some distance, it's better to stay, I think, in my personal opinion, in third-person mode until the gun is just about on target, because you're going to give yourself a little bit of vertigo. You see, machine gunning the fence down so that the chain links don't stop the heat FS round, because that would happen, right? But where was I going with this? Something, already 2 kills and flanking the enemy aggressively. Safe to say the RU251 is a delightful vehicle, and it's one of the reasons that 6.7 to 7.3 Sweden, even 7.7 Sweden for certain flat boy memes, it's a very fun BR range, and that's something that I've noticed about the 8.0 BR for USA. There are some fantastic vehicles at 8.0 for USA, both in the regular tech tree and the premium line, and it's only getting better with a lot of vehicles going down in BR lately. The meta is shifting once again. It's sort of a ratcheting effect that you see over the course of the development of the game. This has been going on for forever, so this is a formula for what we would call BR decompression, but what it really is there's a try-hard tier, and that tier is pushing up to around 9.7 now, and that's where your top tier premiums are. That's going up probably to 10.7 with the next major update, but we'll see, because the I suspect, okay, very poorly formed sentence here, but here's my theory for the next major update. We're going to see whatever the hell that is, the Tomcat F-14, is that what it's called? We're probably going to see that, or something like that, either with the next major update, probably, so keep your ears tuned for the doveblegs, the barking of the doveblegs. But also, my big theory is that we're going to see either the, what's it called, the F5C, something like that. It's either going to be, by the way, I'm very, very tempted to shell out for that black premium skin for that thing. It's a lot of money. I really need to not buy that aircraft as much as I want to, because I need to spend money on adult things like farming tools. But I've been getting into gardening. That's another story. But on to my theory, because I am killing a lot of time here and not talking at all about what TinyPolska's doing, which is something of a familiar theme, my friend. So apologies, but get blapped. I mean, how do you... There's my commentary. Get blapped. That's just an entire summary of what TinyPolska's doing in this one. And you can see that the IKV, it doesn't wobble too badly. So, there is that. What was it going for here? Something along the lines of, my theory for the next major update is that the meta, the premium BR, the try-hard BRs, maybe gonna bump up to 10.7 for aircraft or 10.3. Oh, my theory is that the premium Freedom Fighter, F5AC or F5C, whatever it is, it's probably going to come in at a lower BR than the regular Tech Tree one that the Chinese have access to, and my hint for that is that it carries less effective missiles, and that is also something that we see on the MiG-21 PTSD, PMF, I mean, MiG-21 PMS. It's got hot flash missiles, but the MiG-21 PFM has far less effective missiles and less numerous. I don't even know if it has air-to-air missiles. I can't remember. It's not my cup of tea, or not my can of borscht, whatever. But it ain't for me. And the BR keeps on going down on that thing. I think it's going to 9.3, which is pretty crazy for a fucking MiG-21. But that's an entirely different can of maggot-flavored spinach. So, it's sort of a hint that probably overall the stats of those higher tier aircraft rely a lot more on the performance of their missiles and their anti-missile countermeasures than it does on the flight performance of the aircraft, at least when it does have the opportunity to face other high-performing jets with high-performing missiles. So that's my theory. The F5C is going to be a 10.3 premium. If it's not rank 7, or what is it? Rank 6? If it's not rank 6 and an opening up a rank 7 tree, I suspect it'll be, I think it's rank 5, right? Rank 6 is the highest rank for aircraft, right? Is it? I can't remember. But if it's not a higher rank, then it'll be one rank higher until that next rank of aircraft comes in, and then it'll be adjusted. But it'll always sit officially one rank below top rank in War Thunder, even though we all know that it is actually a meta top tier vehicle, if not the absolute top tier, in the same ballpark, and definitely welcome in a top tier lineup for something like Ground RB, or God help you if you're playing it at that tier, but Air Arcade. I did actually get into playing a little bit of Air Arcade today, and I'll be playing a little bit more of it on account of I just had a fortuitous roll, and oh my goodness, the rolls on the battle tasks, the daily task and the special task. Holy salt-encrusted baby Jesus' snail prevention crib liner. Does anybody else get this, where you have a daily task that you don't want, and so you roll for something else, and it gives you another daily task you don't want, so you roll for something else, and it brings you back to the same daily task you just tried to avoid? Gaijin, stop licking my salty tears. Give me better RNG. Please us, in the name of Jesus. But having said that, I've had no issue, even with the small amount of time that I've been playing War Thunder compared to how much I used to play it, with keeping current on the daily tasks. And I even have a few special tasks under my belt. I'm a hashtag blessed boy, and I know it, and I'm looking forward to getting my hands on those sweet, delicious, mostly premium vehicles available in the Battle Ass. And this season's Battle Pass, of course, has the precedent that I was dreading from the beginning of the Battle Pass system of having a somewhat higher rank non-premium vehicle in the offering. And that's been something that crept into the events, and I'm not a fan. I would much rather have all premium vehicles for event vehicles and the Battle Pass, but economics are what economics are, and keeping down the cost of rice in Spain and all those lovely things. So, I understand why. I just would rather not have the battle pass watered down with event vehicles or gift vehicles. You know, the real gift is you and me, and you know what? I'm glad you guys are here. Even if the high explosive filler in that round was not available for comment, just filling up the content with one of the most overpowered premiums in the game, if not the most overpowered premium tank, the German 4.0 KV. Is this the KV-1B? I think it's KV-1B with the add-on armor, sitting at an extremely comfortable battle rating for a heavy tank with upwards of 100 millimeters of armor in most places, and fantastic ability to angle itself away from enemies, a cannon that reloads just fast enough and punches through just enough armor to do the damage, and has good one-shot capability when firing at weak spots or thin armor. And you have yourself probably the most meta vehicle in the game. It perfectly fits where it sits, and it's also extremely difficult to balance. If you put the BR just 0.3 or 0.7 higher for this thing, you start facing a lot of vehicles that can punch through your armor, and even more, you start facing a lot of armor that you have a lot of problems punching through with your gun. And you can see, as a member of the German team, we do end up facing a lot of Soviet effective armor with these angles, with these overlapping plates that work so very, very well in the current meta of Armor Thunder. And at the same time, you start to learn where everybody's weak spots are. You have time to aim because people have to aim for your weak spots. You can be a total shitter like me and just cover all of your exposed weak spots with bushes so that people have to know by heart where to aim. And you know, things like ping and packet loss will also make it very difficult to kill this tank because, well, that weak spot that you thought you hit, you didn't. That's just the snail having a laugh at you. And you know what? To be honest, that's the nature of online gaming. You're never going to have a perfect connection, and it's always a juggling act between how to deal with that, and also to be fair to other players, to make the game look as good as possible, and just to deal with the fact that even though I live in America, we have a fucking third world internet system. So I'm pretty sure I saw a Comcast guy banging pots and pans together to signal for my internet connection, but I could be wrong. Excuse me. Anyway, that's just the nature of things here on the West Coast. There's no competition for high-speed internet. There's one company that offers high speed, and everybody else just kind of sucks. And so that means that the one high-speed internet company kind of sucks too, and doesn't invest in their infrastructure. But yeah, that's just the way things are in Albuquerque. And here we have Operator Chan in the probably the most meta ATGM vehicle, at least at its BR. This is more like an MBT that happens to use a missile as a weapon, as opposed to the other ATGM carriers that have been balanced to a good extent, to a fair extent, by the drawbacks of the weapons platform. You can't fire while on the move. You generally don't have good defensive armor. And your missiles also fairly slow flying, giving you a lot of time you need to be on target, and giving enemies a chance to react, especially because you don't have good armor. You're not really encouraged to push up, and the fact that you don't have a stabilizer or the ability to fire on the move also adds a significant disincentive to that kind of behavior, and the IT-1 is the exception that breaks all of those standards. And he is breaking all of the tanks that he sees. 3 one-shot kills in a row early on in this match, and he's playing very aggressively. He is brawling. He is counting on his ability to get the first effective shot off. Enemies may have to aim carefully when attacking him, especially because the IT-1 specifically is very difficult to ammo rack. The empty space between the ammo stored in the turret and the hull where you're likely to encounter the IT-1 can often eat streams of hot plasma, or in any event, even if you hit the ammo rack, a lot of times it won't even black, it'll just turn red, and if it does black, then you might not even destroy all of the ammunition. All of that is to say, the IT-1 has a surprising amount of survivability, which is in no way deterred by its very low profile and its ability to fire on the move, reverse out of the way, and use its powerful forward acceleration to reposition very effectively on the battlefields of War Thunder. And the Flatboy S-Tank is now stanking it up with a dead engine, that leaving its crew dead ducks in the water as Operator Chan lines up a shot into the fighting compartment, taking down a fuel tank along the way just for good measure, and really showing off what kind of post-penetration damage the IT-1's robot rocket can do. And this time getting a little bit of a laggy hit there into the Scent. Scent has an opportunity to open fire on the IT-1 but does not avail himself. Not sure what was going on there. Maybe he was on the reload. I don't know, but he definitely made a poor decision in popping smoke at that opportunity as a Frenchy boy comes in to try and punch a Heat FS round into our guy, but opens up at just too extreme of an angle and has it bounce off of that bouncy front plate. So again, the armor protection of this vehicle, coupled with its very low profile and decent mobility and fantastic missile guidance system handling, definitely comes through to make this one of the few ATGM carriers that is actually a legitimate brawler in this game, if not a close range Scorpion type ambush vehicle. I'm talking about the Animal Kingdom's Scorpion, not the United States of America's Scorpion, which is both a hilarious gun carrier and a hilarious interceptor jet, both of which, by the way, are completely delightful in the game of War Thunder, but not exactly known for the defensive capabilities. Here comes an enemy missile flying overhead as Operator Chan tries to take it down with his anti-air, rifle caliber machine gun. There we go. I don't know the name of the thing. Ivan didn't tell me because Ivan does not talk to Western spies. So, already 7 kills and nary a penetration on his powerful stellium infused frontal armor, sent in almost the same spot as the last Scent that got sent to Davy Jones's locker, or wherever Brits go when they don't die at sea. And 8 kills for our guy, a quick 9th as he takes down another, what was that, a French AML-90 or whatever the heck it is. It's a bread basket with a gun on it, and let me tell you, it gets stale pretty quick if it gets flanked. And with 9 kills and a very effective, almost solo defense as a brawler here, Operator Chan is just performing beautifully, even picking up a traitorous kill against the BMP Das Deutsches Volk version, and carrying on with the double ace and no challengers in sight as the smoking battlefield surrounds him with the smell of burning petroleum products and victory. Another Frenchy boy in the SPAA, possibly even the pilot of that AML-90 from before, ends up being his final kill for the match and a nice cap to the day's activities. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this series of videos, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.